What's up, everyone? It's time for the latest live reaction chapter for Kengan Omega. Kengan Omega chapter 269, entitled Scaling the Wall. Now, as I already said at the end of the last chapter, going off of the fact that I did not expect us to jump back to the campsite, with the three kings of Kengan, with our main man Jackie, our main character, and the beard, though we did not see the beard in the last panel of the last chapter. So he's still out there, trimming the wildlife of mountain lions and bears, with his bare hands, as it were, with his devil lance. He's getting meat for the boys. They brought the beer, he brings the meat. It is what it is. So I didn't expect that to happen until the end of the next fight, the transition between round 1 of the real tournament and round 2. And I expected that to be a full chapter. Now I'm expecting this to basically be the half chapter where the connector is going to explain. Shen's going to explain exactly what Yan is implying by these side effects things. I imagine Oma's going to ask a question, like we're going to jump into the middle of their conversation, and he's going to just so happen to be talking about exactly what is going on with the fifth Fang and Metsudo with Agito right now. So, but that being said, without further ado, let's just jump in now that we're on time this week. So let's see. Scaling the wall. Guy on top of a mountain. Say there is a mountaineer who climbed the highest mountain in the world. Question: would he go on to train to climb an even higher mountain? Well, if he climbed the highest mountain in the world, I mean, what would he bother training for? There is no mountain higher. That's the point of climbing the highest mountain. So I would say no, because there is no higher mountain. Answer: he would not. Oh, I got it right. He would not. Because there is no even higher mountain. Yeah, logically, it's like, I've climbed the highest mountain. There isn't one higher. Let's see. But what if there were even higher heights? Oh shit, now we're going to the stratosphere. Now, like, this is a nice shot. We're seeing planets and stars and thunderstorms and all this shit. And we're seeing, like, I feel like this mountain right here, this like space, like terrifying mountain, like this is like some Lord of the Rings fantasy range meets with Toriko in space. Like this is the kind of stuff we would have seen in Toriko had they continued the next arc. Just a random giant evil looking, where the Disney villains all gathered together to create their master plans. I feel like this represents that 100%. This is like the ultimate evil mountain fortress, yeah. So, but what if there were even higher heights? So the question is, he climbed the highest mountain in the world, and they said, would he train to climb an even higher mountain? Well, no, he wouldn't, because there's not a higher mountain. But what if there was? I mean, that he didn't climb the highest mountain. I suppose the question really is, I don't know if this is smart or not. Let's just continue reading. It might explain. Okay, we're with Yan here. Oh, are we not going back? I'm going to be disappointed if we actually don't go back to the campsite. He's learned that there are higher heights. Okay. Okay, now I get the reasoning. Is that what he thinks is the highest mountain in the world? He climbed the highest mountain there is, that everybody knows about. Now, but what if there was a bigger mountain to climb? What if there was a taller mountain? Would he climb it? The answer was obviously no before, because he didn't realize he thought he had already reached the peak. But if there was a taller peak, a bigger peak, a higher height, would he then attempt that? So that's the, okay. He's learned there are even higher heights. Shen, let's see. Perhaps revealing the connector to the Kengan Association was a mistake. Even if it was to make them submit, I didn't expect it to lead to this. He's learned, and we're with Agito here, he's learned of higher heights and scaled the wall. Okay, that's a really nice shot of Agito too. All the big lines and stuff. It's reminding me a little bit. I don't want to go crazy here, but I'm thinking this is looking like some pretty good artwork. Not gonna lie. But, okay. So are these the side effects he was talking about? Okay, I'm going to have to think on that one. Let's see. So Julius is just taking the blows. He's blocking somebody's taking hits. Julius is really, this is really one-sided. Let's see. Yamagohan and Kaede, they're landing. Kano's strikes are doing damage. He's aiming for the seams of his muscles. Oh, so the in-between point between the muscle groups. He's aiming for that one part that I guess I'm assuming that can't be trained or can't be toughened, and it's doing actual damage. How is he pulling this off against Julius? Something's clearly different about Kano. Let's see. So Julius tries to get something in. He just keeps dodging. Bam! Oh, man. Like, see, this is like the brutality from, like, the Kengan Annihilation tournament that I'm sort of missing. Like, look at that. Like, that looks like it took his head clean off. Like, his neck went the wrong direction. Like, that's insane. All right. So, blam, right there. And did he actually leave the ground? Like, one of his feet, his foot has actually left the... He's staggering. Kano's not going to let this chance pass. And then he goes forward. Julius recovers, but Kano goes in and uses Dragon Vein. Bam, 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 bam. How many strikes is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like 7, 8. I count 8 strikes that I can actually see. Dragon Vein? I don't remember. That's a new move. Kano's gotten evolved. Is this a multiple... I wonder if they're going to explain this, but my initial thought is that this is dragon shots done as a combo move. A multitude of dragon shots done in a quick succession for high output, high velocity to 1, 2, 3, 4 to get, multiple dragon shots off in a short span of time. That's what I'm going to go with, and it looks like it's doing some heavy damage. Okubo and Justin just staring off as Julius falling. Is Julius about to go down? And then he's going down, and oh no, he's going for the tackle. He was going down to make it look good, and then he's going to use this as a quick. He's really close. Is he going to catch Kano off guard? And looks like Kano is a little shocked, and thwack. Oh, damn. He still got his elbow up. He went boom and smacked him with an under elbow shot. Like, instead of this way or coming down, it looks like he went bam. So he smashed. So he sort of struck him with the elbow as he brought it up and held it there as a defensive. So Julius's nose and head just smashed right into that hard density of the elbow of Agito there. Slams right into him. Yan, I should have known. The infection is spreading. And, Julius takes the hit and manages to finally grapple and grab onto Agito. This is dangerous. Even for a guy as muscly and as, big as Agito, Julius is much, this is... Okay, so he grabs him, and Agito's actually, he's actually like, oh shit, clutched, and now Agito is bringing the hammer down, trying to get him to release him, but holy shit. That's the bear hug that nearly beat Wakatsuki during the Kengan Annihilation tournament. If he lifts him off the ground, he'll be in full control. Oh, he hasn't managed to lift Agito completely yet, to completely crush him like Wakatsuki, like that. Without Superman syndrome, that was going to break Wakatsuki. Julius, just a bear hug. I don't care how strong your bones and your muscles are. I'm just going to break you. I will break you, So that's some Ivan Drago shit there. Agito is staggering. He's got his teeth clenched. He's like, Kano's trying to get out. Julius is trying to lift him up. It's come down to a contest of strength. So, I mean... I can understand why. How is Julius not able to lift him up? I suppose he's sort of widespread there, and Agito's obviously But, I mean, Julius can lift anything or whatever. So I don't really know what Agito is doing right now to prevent Julius from managing to lift him off the mat. I don't fully understand how Agito isn't just like Julius is trying his hardest. Maybe because he's got to keep his focus on protecting, like, because he's being slammed on the shoulder and stuff and on the back, so he's got to maintain, like, his grip here and then trying to lift at the same time, like he's trying to focus on I don't know. I don't understand how Julius hasn't already lifted Agito off the ground. Agito's a heavy guy, but Julius, we've seen this man, like, pull an F1 Formula racer and shit like it was no big deal. So yeah, I don't know what's happening. So let's see. Yan continues. Scaling the wall is contagious. It removes the subconscious limitations on what's possible or not. So this is the infection, the side effects of revealing the connector. Let's see. There used to be a 10-second barrier in the 100-meter dash. But as soon as one runner scaled that wall, many more followed suit. Julius Reinhold. Oh, now that's a good shot. That's a good shot of Julius. A man who hasn't met the connector in person is scaling the wall as we speak. So that's what he means about the infection, or like, it's contagious. As these fighters scale this wall, climb, figure out there's a bigger mountain to climb. They're, you know, where they thought the peak was, the goalpost has now been moved, and they realize they're not this close to the goalpost anymore. They're close to just some fine tuning. There's another whole mountain to climb. They're not even close to it yet, and that has. Okay, so it's removed the subconscious limitations of what's possible. Okay, so these are the side effects. So it's clear Agito hasn't actually, so far, hasn't learned what we call principles in the community, and it seems like he hasn't. His formless isn't actually. It's just. Once again, Agito's evolution, that was his whole shtick. I sort of wish that was incorporated here somewhere, but now we're basically saying, yeah, okay, let's finish the chapter, then we'll get to that, because that's interesting. So he's scaling the wall as we speak, and Agito is still slamming his elbow in there, just trying, like, it looks so damning, god damn, to get Julius to let go, and it looks like, holy shit. And he's out. He actually did manage to get out. That was a tense moment, but now they're going back to the face-off. Okay, so Agito managed to get out, but, I mean, that worried him, and he's like, whoa, okay. I knew he wouldn't be a simple opponent. I mean, he'd been kicking his ass. Whew. So Julius, so this is your domain? I've caught up to you, Kano. Julius? Buddy? You caught him in a bear hug. Your first move on him. He beat the shit out of your shoulder as you attempted to lift him off the ground. And he got out. You've gotten one move on him. He's been kicking the living shit out of you. Your endurance and durability has been nothing short of amazing. We gotta give credit where credit is due. But you're talking a lot of smack for a guy who has done like this much damage to his opponent and taken a whole pile's worth yourself. Let's see. And Agito says, then I'll go even further beyond. Let's end this, Julius. Agito's hair about to grow, anybody? Agito's hair about to get a little... He's already doesn't really have eyebrows, so I mean... The golden locks about to grow out of the back of his head? Well, we'll have to wait and see. He's about to go even further beyond. Alright, so that's the chapter. That was good. I'm glad that Julius finally got something in, and now we're making the argument, or Yan's making the argument, that Julius is also starting to improve and evolve as this match goes on. So... Alright, I mean, that's cool, and I like that. I do like that even with Dragon Shot, Dragon Vein, It's Agito himself and stuff. Julius is a glutton for punishment, and he is taking these hits like he's Seki, you know what I mean? And he's still, like, talking smack through it all, like, Jesus. So, cool there. So, back to the main point. So, that was the reaction for the chapter. I think this was a great chapter. This is a really good chapter. I'm sure some people are still going to argue because there's too many haters in this damn community. But, some of the shots are really good. The one with Julius scaling the wall is a really good shot. The one where, not where he initially gives him the bear hug, but where he, where Dragon Vein is a pretty good shot, but it's that one where, he slams his fist, and Julius's head just goes clean back and stuff. That's a good shot. Agito, you know, when they first go back to the fight, and he's learned of the higher mountain and stuff, right? That's a good shot. Like, there's some really good art in this chapter. So yeah, I really like the chapter. I like the pacing. I'm glad the fight isn't over. I am a little disappointed that it's Yan explaining all this. I was hoping, like, they teased us with the fact that, you know, Shen and Omar are there having a couple of beers around a fire, waiting for Kuroki to come back with, like, a grizzly bear over his shoulder, like, dinner is served, clunk. But up until then, other than that, the chapter itself is pretty good. And I like this explanation now that I fully understand what they're going for. Is they're basically saying that, okay, the goalpost was moved. Like, I actually think the mountain one's a little confusing until we put it into context. And then these are but the problem I think Sandro did here, or maybe it was the translation team, I'm not sure. They're using, like, multiple, how many synonyms can they use for side effects? First it was side effects in the last chapter. Then it was an infection. Then it was, in this chapter, they used 3 different terms. Higher heights, scaling the wall, infection, side effects. 4 different ways to say the same thing. So it's like, okay. So, you know, I really do think that the mountain one makes sense now that I understood what they were going for. But I think that the 100-meter dash thing was the easiest, simplest explanation there. I'm not arguing the placement in the chapter, but that sort of locked it all in place for me. Is that, okay, so all these characters who we thought were, once again, top tier, before we're introduced to Shen, we have who are the top tiers in Kengan, right? Who are the strongest? Who are the top tiers? You have Kuroki, obviously. You have Agito. You have Oma and Ryan and guys like this, right? Like, you know, that was at the end of Ashura. That was sort of where we were going with, right? And they were the S tier. They were the top. And then we were introduced, like the characters in verse, we're introduced to the connector. And we thought, once again, like the Mountaineer, we thought we'd reached the peak of the mountain. The peak of the mountain was Kuroki. You know, that was the peak of the mountain. That was, you know, the 5th Fang. Oma, it completed his Nico style and all that stuff. We thought this was the peak of the mountain. And then we were just told, no, there's a valley, there's so much greater heights. We moved the goalpost. And with that, the 100-meter dash explanation being like, no one could beat the 10-second marker. The 10-second was a barrier that no one could beat, right? And then, all of a sudden, somebody did it. And after the world recognized that it was possible, as Yan says, at a subconscious level, they, of course, you subconsciously limit yourself knowing that there's the peak of the highest mountain. And there is no mountain higher than that. When you've been introduced to the connector, that there is a taller mountain, and we're still, you know, we might be at the peak of a mountain, but it's not the mountain. It opens up a brand new world of possibilities to perfect everything, to get better, to get stronger, you know, and to not rest on your laurels, I suppose. And now what they're saying is that this, by introducing, and Yan sort of questioning that introducing the connector at large to the Kengan Association might not have been a great idea, because the side effect is that Agito knows he had way more, not just tweaks to improve, but to get far stronger than he was. So does, you know, I mean, Kuroki always knew that, and Kuroki was always practicing, but all these characters have recognized that, and that's what, once again, we were told that at the beginning of the real tournament, that this tournament, people should improve, people should involve with tournament at this level, people should get better. So Yeah, no, this works for what the side effects are. The side effects of introducing the taller mountain when the mountain was unknown. They thought they had reached the peak, and there's no sense in it of improving. As I said, the guy who climbed the highest mountain, would he continue to train if there's no mountain higher to climb? Why would he? Why would he push his limits further when there wouldn't be that peak to reach? Now that they realize there's another peak, there's something beyond the S tier fighters. Now we have double S or connector level or whatever you want to call it. Now that we have a new goalpost, all the fighters are striving to get better. And Yan's worried about that, which he should be. I mean, from his perspective, but for Shen, this is fantastic. So yeah, actually really like that. Glad they added both explanations into the fight. Still find it weird that there was, 4 ways, like he calls it, an infection, scaling the wall, reaching higher heights, to, as Agito says, this is to go even further beyond, so that's, whatever that is. And I still ask the question to the community, do you guys also think that new move that Agito pulled out, Dragon Vein, I think it's a new move, Dragon Vein, is that a succession of dragon shots performed all at once? Like, is that just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like just consecutive dragon punches done in a really fast stand? Like, I'm not sure, but it looked really freaking deadly. Or is it weaker? Because one dragon shot was really damning to Julius, and he took all of those, 1 to the face again, so or at least 2. So I'm thinking that maybe it trades off simultaneous. It lacks all the 100% of the power of the just one dragon shot. It lowers the power to be able to do multiple of them in the same span of time, sort of idea, or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. It sacrifices power for speed in that regard. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, still, what a great chapter. I thought the chapter was really good, and I'm looking forward to when Kano decides to go Super Saiyan 3 next chapter. So, look forward to that. I'm excited. Are you guys? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always, and we'll see all of you back here hopefully next time for chapter 270 of Kengan. Will it be the end of the fight next chapter? Maybe, but I could see it going as far as 271. I don't think it's going to go beyond 271 without the winner, but we'll have to wait and see. I think this is sort of going to be a bit of Julius's comeback here. Still think Agito's going to take it. We'll have to wait and see. Thanks guys so much for watching. We'll see you next Wednesday. Peace.